Welcome to CarTorque with Matty J in the studio again, as we do every Tuesday night, with rocking with James from Manvers Movies. What's going on?
Nothing much, man.
We've got Alm coming in very shortly. But yeah, how's your week been?
Oh, same old. Watching movies for my show.
That's
what I love to do. You love to drive cars. I like to watch movies.
Yeah, so liking to drive cars. So I took my F6 for a drive because I barely drive it, and I went up to one of my favourite roads up in the Yarra Valley, and it's called Chum Creek Road. But I've just probably ruined that road for me now because everyone's going to
Chum Creek. Wow.
Chum Creek Road. Like everyone knows the Black Spur. The Black Spur's like too busy, so Chum Creek Road's like dead, and
Well, everyone's going to rock up now.
Yeah, so I've officially ruined Chum Creek Road for myself. I shouldn't have said that. But because I was actually contemplating selling the F6.
Really?
Yeah, because I was like, well, I don't drive it enough, and it's.
I bet you'll regret it as soon as you do that.
And, everyone has told me that same thing, and I'm saying to myself,
because you wanted that car since I don't know,
since like early high
forever.
School. Yeah, since I can 2004 is when I wanted one. I've always liked it, and the fact of the matter is because I don't enjoy it enough, I'm kind of like said, I get that feeling where I could sell it now and whatever, I'll cut my losses. But then when you drive it, it makes such a difference because you realise how good the actual car is, and what you're missing out on when you're not driving it. So I obviously have my partner, and I had Sunday off from my other job, so we went to work. Went to the Yarra Valley for a drive for a day out. And at 8/10, the car was absolutely brilliant. I've forgotten how good it was. And then I said, and like Vinny's like,
and you changed your mind.
And I changed my mind again. And I'm just like, I can't sell it now because when I take it for a good drive on a good road, it makes such a difference than just city traffic and
that's not what it's for.
No, it's built for the open road. It's actually built for like mountain passes and like proper stuff. We just joined with Alan now. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. Apologies for being late, as always.
No stress at all. We're just talking about, because I was thinking about selling the F6.
Selling?
Yeah, I know. Because I don't drive it. Because I don't drive it enough. And
but there's got to be a car that you've got on your mind to replace it, right?
Well, a Fiesta ST or a Focus RS, if I can push it.
I'd have to go on the Focus RS train.
I feel like if you got the Fiesta, you'd just be mad that you didn't get the Focus.
Because one day somebody's going to pull up in the Focus RS next to you.
I know.
And immediately you'll regret like a $40,000 decision.
I know. And I think that's like the worst part about it is because I know how good both of them are, but I know how amazingly brilliant the RS is. So if you're
going to give up your dream car, the Typhoon, for another car, it might as well be something that pretty much lives up to that dream, which it would be the Focus.
Focus RS all day. But anyway, as I was just saying before, because I took the F6 for a long drive on Sunday because I barely drive it. I took it up to Chum Creek Road in the Yarra Valley, and finally getting it on a good road, on a good mountain pass, on just really, really quick back roads. You realise how good the car is, and it's like, oh my god, how did I want to sell you like 2 days ago?
I'm sorry. Did you get out and be like, I'm sorry?
I gave her the biggest hug.
The car knew as well. It had to perform.
It performed.
Like, Matt's thinking of selling me. I gotta work hard.
It performed to the point where Vinny's like, oh my god, Matt, slow down, we're gonna die. But like at 8/10, like it's magic, that car. And I like, you forget how good of a road car it actually is. It's by no means a track car, but as for a road car, with the handles the conditions well, built for the conditions, it's fantastic. And it kind of made me reassess my decision. I'm like, I can't really do it just yet, or ever. But
you have to hold on to it until something else comes that like replaces the spot it has in your life.
Well, I think
like you can't just give it up and be like, "Oh, I'll get something else." Like something has to come along and be like, "Okay, that's the car that's going to fill the hole."
Fill that hole. But the thing is, like, I know because like it hasn't lost any money at all. Like I could sell it for like pretty much what I paid for it or more. And I know like I'll never get as clean a car as that ever again.
Yeah,
that it is. I mean, you guys have seen it. It's like perfect.
Well, it took you ages to get that one, and that was like stock
It was stock. Dude, I was looking for ages.
Yeah.
And I was even checking out XR6 turbos, and I just nothing was as good as that. So I know if I go for something else, and knowing my luck, it's going to be terrible. So,
well, you buy a brand new Focus RS.
I could.
I mean, you'd be in debt for life, but considering you're also considering you're also working on the house, it's not a smart idea, but you can at least be guaranteed that the car will be clean.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the limited edition RS coming out very very soon with the Quay front diff and everything, so they should be a bit more potent. But I don't know. Maybe I'll just hang on to it, and because like I know I'm not going to lose any money on it. But the thing is, I drive the Merc more than I drive the M6, which is really sad, considering.
But the Merc's better for traffic and like just general road conditions. So,
it is.
I mean, that's not your daily, but it's the second. Like it's if your laser is the daily, and then the Merc is like in the middle, and then the
F6 is like a treat.
F6,
you've got like too many sidecars at this point.
Sidecars, and I want more. It's a drug.
Where are you going to put them all?
Well, dude, I've got a house now, so I can't.
Yeah, you don't have a 20 car garage. This is not GTA. You can't swap out the cars and have them all saved in the cloud.
I'll have them all in the cloud, and like I want to do all of those rich people who like have that like the concrete rising, and you can just it's like an underground car park, which would be like
Tokyo Drift.
Tokyo Drift. Yeah. that'd be pretty dope. But yeah, it just that on Sunday reaffirmed to me, crap. I what was I thinking? So cars can do that to you, especially when you drive them very often, and when you get them on a good road, and you really get to see what they can do. They do surprise you. So I can't say how much more. If you're getting bored with your car, take it to a good road, and you'll reaffirm your love for it.
That's always true. But it's important to make sure your car is in good nick. I just found out my drive shaft boot is split.
Okay.
So we're probably going to have to get that changed out.
Yeah, because you don't want any grit and stuff to get in there, which will wreck your CVs and cause a bit of a bit more money to be done. But I had to do that recently on the laser when I got the gearbox done. It had a little crack and split. I'm like, just change it. It was like a $7 part. So I'm like, just do it. But anyway, we're going to go to our first break of the night. We're sticking with our theme of like synth pop, so we're going to go to a song by Electric Youth, and the song is called "A Real Hero," which James likes. It's a really good song. This one's
Drive
from Drive, and this is it. I'll be talk to you right after this. You're back on CarTorque with Matty J, still in the studio with Alan and James. We're just talking about before getting your car on a good road and realizing that it's before you sell it, it's actually. You can't bring yourself to doing it. So now I'm gonna probably definitely keep it. If I ever feel that way again, which guys, please hit me if I do.
The real question is, have you taken a Focus RS for a test drive?
No, I've driven an ST and I've driven a Fiesta ST, and they were both brilliant, absolutely like great to drive. But yeah, I want to drive an RS, but apparently they are like rock solid stiff. Like they ride really rough. So, I mean. It is a performance car, but people say they ride just too rough for what they are. So I know Mountune, when they do their handling upgrades, they put the Focus ST springs in them to really soften them up, and they reckon they handle better and they get around a track quicker.
Oh, that's pretty interesting.
Because I mean, you gotta have some play in it. Because like if it's just too stiff, it's just yeah.
So is there no like bumpy road mode or even is that too stiff still?
Oh yeah, it's still like even the normal setting stiff. So I imagine that on our roads would be. It wouldn't be. Put it this way, it wouldn't be a great daily.
Yeah, definitely not.
So that'd be my only gripe if I was to get one. That's why a Fiesta ST, like while they're still a bit stiff, they got a little bit more forgiving. And if I'm looking for a new daily to replace the laser in a few years, because it is getting a bit up there, that'd probably be an option unless RSs come down a little bit because they are still stupidly expensive. But I'm going to get one day. Mark my words, I will have one day, and you'll be hearing first on the radio one of Matt's 30,000 new cars. But anyway, we'll move it on because we don't want to be talking about my car escapades for the whole show.
Just on that for a moment, would it be, we're not rich people, but would it be a valuable idea, like among good friends, to start a sort of car club? where I guess you all invest into, a space where you purchase cars under, I guess, a company name, and you just put some money in it every month or so, and you're going to take the cars out for a spin.
That's actually a really good idea. I'm pretty sure it'd be like a timeshare, we all kind of own the car, but we all can use it at different times.
It's generally like a thing reserved for the super rich people that don't want the commitment.
Yes.
And of course they'll pay $50,000, possibly even more a year, to be part of exclusive car clubs where they get to do that.
Well, I mean, you look at the Classic Car Club Manhattan and stuff. They're really expensive clubs to get in, but you can drive anything. Like they've got not thousands of cars, but heaps of cars that are just they got Lambos, whatever you want to drive, they got it there. So, but that's for the super rich.
Exactly. But I feel there would be a way for more common people to, I guess, bring something together. Obviously, the cars wouldn't be as grand, but
if you get enough people, there might be.
Then everyone just gets 5 minutes at that point. You only get 5 minutes of the car. You just sit in there. You got to get out. Somebody else's turn. But you get
smell of leather. Okay, get out.
That's all your membership buys you.
You can't get to drive. You get to sit. You get 5 minutes sit time. But yeah, I reckon it's a great idea.
Because these things should be reserved for the super rich. We should be able to get, not just have to sit and play Forza, or you can't even use Toyotas in Forza now. But anyway, you should have to sit and play video games to experience nice cars. I think there should be something like this could possibly work as a good business proposal.
Definitely, I do like that idea quite a lot, actually. But yeah, that's maybe we should talk off air and try to get something happening, because
I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Because if we could all chip in and get an RS, and not pointing any fingers at anybody, but I'll be definitely driving that car. It'd be a lot of fun, and I guess we'd all get a different experience in a different car. And if that's the case, I guess these people that I'm sure it's done before. They kind of just constantly swap cars, so they'll probably have an RS for 6 months, and they'll get something else and just keep hopping around different cars. And I guess that way you kind of don't really lose that much depreciation, but you get a taste of different cars, and you get to find out what you like, I guess.
And a lot of people do that, I guess, on a smaller scale, where they just hop cars and sell them themselves.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I had a neighbour that used to do that, and he tried to sell me a SR20 DET swapped
Triple S Pulsar.
Yeah, Triple S Pulsar, and. Whether or not that was a good purchase, I don't know. The fact it was spinning in fourth, I don't
think of the Manies.
Think of the Manies, yeah. They're in the Pulsey.
Think of the Manies in the Pulse.
I don't know, if you're spinning in fourth, I think there's a bit of a problem.
If it spins fourth, bring it to the north. That's what they say on the skits. Oh man,
I'm certain mine ever did definitely bring it to the north. So
definitely, yeah, spins forth, bring it to the north. Oh jeez. Well, let's just change the subject.
I don't think we're legally allowed to talk about that group.
I don't think we are. Anyway, we'll move on. Alan and I were talking before the show. On Messenger, and we were saying we thought of an idea of what good decent cars, interesting and fun cars could you get for 20 grand or under 20 grand, and 20 grand's quite a lot of money, and I reckon you can get a few different things.
And I definitely agree that 20 grand's a bit of money, a chunk of money, and
with 20 grand you can get a great car.
Yeah, it does. It also really opens up the doors a lot more.
Definitely.
When you're looking at 5 grand or under, you have to be very careful. A lot of time, it's going to be an A to B car, and that's your lot.
Yep.
If you're looking at 10 grand, you can possibly get a car that's like my car is a little over 11 and a half, but you can get something nice and sporty. But with 20 grand, I think that opens up a lot of doors.
It does
for quite a few cars.
And you can get your bum in various different seats, like different sports cars, whatever. You'll be able to get in there with 20 grand. I think 20 grand is a really good option. If it's kind of your first performance car or your first kind of interesting car, 20 grand is a really good budget to have, because you're not going too crazy, but you're not going too cheap. You're actually getting a taste of something modern and quite decent.
Yeah. Agree.
It won't be brand new, but it'll be pretty close too. So I've asked for you and myself to put a little bit of a list together, because we don't really do a lot of consumer advice on this show, but
And our consumer advice isn't for everybody.
It isn't. It's for example, don't buy SUVs. But yeah, we thought with 20 grand, there's you can get cars of all different spectrums, and you can get great cars for the money. I mean, you can get you can get some really interesting cars, like you can get super rare cars or super, or just super common cars, but that are actually fun and reliable, great to drive. So, first car on your list, Alan. What were you thinking? Because I know you had a smile when you told me when you were telling me your list. He's like, oh
no, the first car's obviously going to be a WRX.
Yeah, of course it is.
You can get, I believe, the GDA STIs. They're available under that.
You won't get a Hawkeye, but you probably
you get the Blob Eye, yeah,
Blob Eye or Peanut Eye, whatever they're called, yeah.
And which I believe they made close to 200 kilowatts factory.
About that, yeah.
Yeah, and overall, I like I said, I love my WRX. And STI, of course, would have been better.
Yeah,
wasn't in my budget at the time, and I think they'd be a great car. If the WRX is a great car, the only thing you're really looking at with the STI is more fuel consumption.
Was the Blob Eye 2.5 or were they still 2 litre?
I believe the WRX is still 2, but the STIs became 2.5.
Okay, STIs.
Yeah.
Because I know in the later Hawkeye, even the base models were 2.5, weren't they? Well, no, actually they were still 2 litre. You're right, they were 2 litre. Yeah. But yeah, I wasn't sure if the Blob Eyes were 2.5.
I think they became 2.5, or it might be the Hawkeye.
Okay.
I'm not 100% on that, but yeah, primarily the issue is just more fuel consumption. The cars generally perform. Yeah, the 6-speed gearbox is better than my
5-speed.
My glass gearbox, as you like to call it, that still hasn't blown up.
Dude,
I mean, the second year synchro sounds a bit funny, but that's about it.
Dude, I saw the the funniest little video meme kind of thing, and it was every Subaru gearbox, and you just see a guy as soon as it comes on boost, and you just see a table shatter. It just changes picture to a table shattering. Before he goes to change gear. Oh, man, I think I tagged you with that, or I want to tag my other phone.
I think you might have tagged me on one of them.
So funny. It was oh my god, this is so true. I've got a good mate of mine. And he's got 3 WRXs, and he's like, yeah, the gearboxes are terrible. But he's got STI 6 speeds in 2 of them now, which are a lot better.
Yeah, which I believe there's a few major changes. Of course, obviously the gearbox comes in, but then you got to also change the tail shaft out because it's a shorter one, I think.
Yeah.
And possibly also the drive shafts. They may have to be changed out because, at least when I was looking at a replacement drive shaft for mine, it said does not suit STI, only WRX. So that may be something.
Do the later model Rexes have the same problem with the gearbox?
No, the later model ones are better, I should say. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's a great way to start. Cause how much could you get them for, a Blob Eye for STI? 18?
I think around 17, 18.
I mean, that's a lot of car for the money too. I mean, you're getting a whole heap of performance, all drive, obviously. Just turbocharged, really easy to modify. Parts are plenty because it's a Subaru, and WRX has got a huge aftermarket following. So if you're into your Jav stuff and you want an entry level turbo performance, but that's slightly a bit better and slightly more bit hardcore than just your standard WRX, an STI would be a great way to go. But that also leaves the door open for people who like the other brand, which are Mitsubishis.
Which, being of the Subaru variety, I never really checked up. Are they comparable in price? Because I feel the Evo may command a premium.
They are a slightly bit more, but you can get one of my favourite Evos, Tommy Mackinnon edition, Evo 6. And I saw one. There was 2 on there. One was a bit rough, for under 20 grand. One's a bit rough. The other one was a silver one. It had about 200,000 K on it, which is a lot of Ks. But it looked really nice. It was really well taken care of. And you could get that for 16 grand, and it's a Tommy Mac. And Tommy Mac editions are really, really quite rare. But then you can also push that further. You can get a 7, or you can possibly even get an 8 MR or just an 8 under 20 grand as well. So that's pretty comparable to your WRX.
Yeah,
STI.
Definitely.
Which if you're a fan of all-wheel drive turbocharged Japanese motors, they are probably 2 of the best ones to really get your hand on, especially if you're wanting to get into that market. before you get GDR and all that stuff.
Yeah, so. Like it's a much more open, I guess, entry level point. I mean, obviously, a Rally Art, were they available in the earlier models?
Rally Arts are in the later ones, but you can probably get a Rally Art for like just over 20, I think.
Whereas with obviously the WRX would be comparable to the Rally Art versus Evos and STIs. It's a good point to enter the market where if you want those kind of things, if you're looking at GTR, you're looking at crazy money, $60,000.
Yeah, let's. The American taxes kind of ruined GDRs for everybody, but.
Damn Americans.
Sorry,
See,
American listeners. We love you guys.
because they have such a history with the 34s.
Yeah. I
would love for there to still be a ban on the 34s, even when the date goes past. It's like, no, you're not going to allow it, and then that'll be great because, you know.
Well, dude, if you want one, you're going to have to get one now because they're already going nuts.
Yeah, I don't know, 60 grand. Yeah, you want to lend me some money? We should start that car club up.
Yeah.
Buy a GTR first.
First car we'll get you wouldn't get a V-Spec, but you'd get a 34 GDR. And I remember a few years ago, you could pick up a 34 GDR for like 40 grand.
Yeah.
I'm spewing now.
You want like the V-Spec
just
2s.
40
yeah.
grand.
You can get it for like 60.
James is just 40
We're talking about 20 grand cars. Oh, you can pick it up.
And we're also talking about a car that at this point is like 15 to 18 years old.
Yes.
So just 40.
I know you've talked about this on the show before, but why the GTR specifically is like imported, like the import tax or whatever is.
It's the import laws in the States. They've got like a 25-year rule.
Yeah.
And the 34 specifically, a lot of people did some dodgies because when you're going to get the GTR and you're going to do it illegally, you'd get the 34 rather than any other model.
So the GTR wasn't released here, or the 34 was?
The only GTR that was actually released here properly was the 32 GTR.
Oh, that's why.
Because they sold them here to homologate for Bathurst.
Okay.
And they sold it, I think, 100 or so. I'm not too sure that exact figure. But the Australian delivered R32s command really good money. Standard, like, imported R32s, which are grey import R32s, GDRs that are, a couple of years ago you get for, like, cheap. Now you're looking at minimum 30, 35 grand because Americans can get them.
Which is interesting because the Australian delivered the 200SX.
Yes.
That doesn't seem to command any kind of...
it doesn't.
Because I feel the Spec R S15s are actually slightly better spec because the turbo was, I believe, a ball bearing turbo? Or...
I'm not too sure on that, but you did get extra funky Japanese stuff in the JDM versions. Yeah. And as typical Japanese cars, you get like a rear window wiper, whereas in the Aussie delivered ones you don't. Just a few little things like that. But essentially the same car though. But I think because they're so attainable and there were so many sold. Excuse me. That's the reason why they've kind of haven't really commanded that value because you can get a S15 for like 10 grand.
Yeah.
Like, and
it'd be trash to hell, but
you're still getting your ass in an S15.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're getting GTR money's like I'll put it in perspective for you, James. Like you can get into a Skyline for like $8 grand, a turbocharged Skyline for $8, $9 grand. It's not a GDR.
The moment you put your foot down.
GDRs come out a lot of money because it is a better car, and you're getting the GDR badge and Godzilla. Oh my god, Godzilla! Yeah. Runaway Godzilla. But it's not essential. It's not exactly badge snobbery. It's you're getting a lot better car, and that's why they command a lot better money. And you're getting the racing pedigree. You're getting a whole bunch of stuff that comes along with the GDR.
Yeah, the tech in the GDRs was incredible compared to just like the GTS.
GDSTs and stuff, yes. Yeah.
And also, like, engine specs as well. You get, what was it? There was an RB20 and an RB25?
RB20 in the R32s, and then you got the other version was the RB26, which was in the GDRs. And then 33's got 25 DET, 26. Yeah. So, but having said that, a 33 GTST is a good buy. And if you can get like a really clean one, just try to get insurance for it. Because some companies, if you just say Skyline, no matter what, even if it's your grandpa's spec Skyline, they will not insure you. They're actually good value. even 33 GTRs are great value. You can get like a, because everyone reckons they're the boat, but I reckon they're the most prettiest, like nicest looking 30 out of all the Skylines.
It makes sense coming from the guy who thinks the Bug-Eye.
Please,
please,
dude. On that poll I was going to get to.
The poll wasn't properly done, my friend.
Well, I don't know how to do a proper poll on Facebook. I checked out, I couldn't figure it out, so I'm just like, I'll write it on there.
You rigged that.
Well, dude, I still lost. You still won.
I did.
So,
even after you rigged the election with the fake news and
please,
all that, I still won.
Oh man, why am I here? But yeah, 33 GTR is a great value right about now, and in every single way, the 33 GTR is better than the 32 GTR, like mechanically, dynamically. But they just didn't have as
except
much
for the looks.
I reckon they look better. 33 GTRs are hot. If you get them on the right set of wheels, they are a hot car.
I think it's the taillights that just ruin it for me.
They look better than a 34 rear end. 34 rear end's just like.
I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
Come on, what?
I think everyone, every fan of the CarTorque.
Welcome to CarTorque with Alan.
I'm gonna be taking over. How dare you, Matt?
They do. 34s just look like they were just like not finished. It was like nice at the front, and then just the designer just like just drew a straight line straight down and just put like 2 dots, and that was it. And look at
We're gonna have to have some words outside.
So you're just a 34 fanboy. Oh man. He can't even respond.
We're going to move along. We'll move along. The second car on my list was, that kind of irks me, a Honda S2000.
Yes, that was on my list as well. Honda S2000.
Having ridden in one, I definitely think they lack in torque, and I will fight all the Honda fanboys about that. And I'll show them the torque in my WRX that comes in at about 3,000 RPM, and it pushes you forward. You definitely feel it.
Of course.
And you definitely don't feel it in the S2000, even when the VTEC comes on. You just hear a lot of noise, and there's a bit of go, but I definitely feeling the torque, come through and kind of push you along is, part of the experience of experiencing a fast car.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that is lacking in the S2000. Apart from that, it's a brilliant car.
Yeah. They handle them crazily good. They're one of those cars that I don't think I'd ever be able to fully master. They're one of those cars that they're just like, their best is brilliant, but if you're not a great driver, it won't reward you in every aspect. But if you are, it'll just be magic.
It's not forgiving unless you know how to handle it.
Yeah. I've heard they're kind of like SW20 MR2s. They were called Band Me on Ice by people that didn't really know how to drive them, and they were a bit sketchy. But for people who could wheel and knew how to drive them, they're magic in the right hands, and they're one of those type of cars.
Johnny Tran,
he knows. He'll see you in the desert in a month. But I'm a big fan of the S2000. I'd actually love to get one day, but the ones that are like on the cheapest end of the scale are pretty clapped out.
Yeah.
But a clean one command like 30, 40 grand still, which is
exactly.
Crazy
I think it was 2005. That was at that 34.5 grand mark.
Wow.
And when you look at that kind of money, you can start pushing into, I guess, GTRs, which
Focus RS,
which we agreed to leave behind. But you can, if you're in for a Jap car, like you could start pushing into that kind of territory.
Yeah. But
we agreed to leave that behind, so.
He's gonna get mad again,
dude. After the show, like during the break, he's gonna kill me. He's gonna come back. It's CarTorque with Alan.
Albert James, Matty. Who's Matty?
I don't know who that man is.
On Simpsons when on the TV station when it goes like broadcast interruption, whatever. Technical difficulties, and it's the guy choking the other guy. It'll be that. It's like beep. So we're having technical difficulties.
And it comes back.
And it comes back.
Oh man. Well, yeah. I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, you guys have.
What were we talking about? Honda 2000.
S2000s, yes.
Dudes were like
Honda 2000.
What else is on your list, Alan? S2000 is a great one.
I think I've forgotten it. We'll move on to you, and I'll try and bring back.
Just back on the S2000, the F20C engine's brilliant. Torqueless, but for a modern day engine that can rev to like $9,000, and up top they sound pretty magical.
They do sound pretty good.
And they do go pretty good. Like you do move, but you don't move with that certain oomph like you get with just a other NA or turbocharged car.
But I think a part that helps that car is the fact that it is a convertible.
It is.
And when you've got the wind in your hair, if you've got hair, which I fortunately do, it does help that feeling of speed. It may not win you the drag race.
Yeah.
Against, the WRX, more talk. No, but it certainly
like Grand Prix.
It certainly will give you an experience of a lifetime.
Definitely.
And I think that's very important because unless you're a bad person, or not necessarily a bad person, but unless you're a specific type of person, you're not racing everyone every day.
No.
But you can certainly go on your own little spirited drive for about 5 minutes or so and experience the car, So the car definitely does a good job of that.
It's one of those cars that's kind of like man and machine. You got to give it the best to get the best out of it, which pretty much sums up the S2000 for me. Because I'm going to get one day. I'm going to feel like VTEC, even if it's torqueless. I will get one day because I reckon they still look hot. I reckon they still look modern.
No, they definitely do.
They've aged brilliantly. And
unlike the AU Falcon.
No, I reckon AUs look good now, dude. AUs.
They never look good.
Mercedes copped AU. They did. I'll prove it to you during the ad break. I'll show you. But speaking of hair in the wind experience, you can get an NC MX-5 for under 20 grand.
Okay.
Which is if you're out of if you're not an S2000 type of guy, but you want the Mazda kind of reliability, I mean Honda's got reliability anyway. But if you want just being a Mazda and because MX-5s are MX-5s, you can get a cheap one. And NC's like still pretty recent. You'll get an early one like a 2009, but you won't get a later NC. But you're still getting an MX-5. It's still the same car. You're still getting the wind and hair experience. Still getting that British kind of roadster feeling. Obviously with Japanese reliability. And you can get into them for like 20 grand. And I reckon they're a great car for the money. I don't know if you've ever been in an MX-5, but look, they're not fast by any means. They're actually pretty terribly slow. But that's not the whole point of an MX-5 is driving experience. And if you want driving experience, you buy an MX-5.
So the question I always wanted to ask about that is, for example, the Money Car Mods guys did the Turbo MX-5.
Yes.
Are you fond of that idea that
perhaps
I like the car doesn't have the power that you may want it to have?
Yeah, I'm all for it. I like obviously cars like feeling how they are factory and like getting the most out of what they can give. Like I've never been massive on power upgrades. I've always been more on dynamics and handling. But I do get why MX-5s are very slow. They don't really have a lot of power. So in their aspect, they turbocharged. They pretty much doubled the power, and the car took it fine as well. I mean, Mazda did sell turbocharged MX-5s like from factory in the NB versions, which are super duper rare. And you get an SE or an SP version, which you can get for that price as well, under 20 grand. And apparently they're brilliant, but they're not as raw as a NA MX-5. So,
and especially when you've got the fan experience or the group experience, that's how they want to keep the cars. They want to keep the cars raw and in, that kind of driving dynamic self.
Yeah.
So you're kind of pushing away from that once you're putting the turbo on and doing everything else. Yes.
But having said that, MX-5s, they're like Lego cars. There's like a big aftermarket, obviously fan base for them. There's a big fan base for them. So there's MX-5's got one of the biggest communities getting around. I mean, that's kind of why Mazda's obviously offering to refurbish Mark 1 MX-5s because they're just so popular. And I get the whole MX-5 thing. So they're actually just a really great car to drive. We'll continue this though. We've got to get to another break. We're going to get to a song by J. Cole. So I haven't played any hip hop in a while. Yes, the song's called No Role Models. Obviously the clean version because we can't play bad music. Well, not bad, swearing music on community radio. So we'll be right back after this. You're back on CarTorque with Matty J. So during the break, I showed one album here, the Mercedes-Benz CLS, the first gen CLS. Admit it, the rear end does look AU-ish.
The rear end was not the major problem with the AU Falcon, I believe. I'll admit it.
The Series 1 front grille was terrible. I'll agree with that. The waterfall grille was horrid grille. But the Series 2 and 3s weren't bad.
I wish we had a video feed right now.
I don't think like a mother could love that car.
Oh, there you go. Wow. Oh man, poor you. Anyway, we'll move it on. Now I want to get a bit different with my next few cards I'm going to mention to you because one I'm like half a bogan and two I do like some Aussie muscle. So
we're talking about a Maloo Ute here.
I am talking about a Maloo Ute. You can get a VY Maloo for like in a manual for like 13K. So I mean that's pretty good value.
That is yeah.
You're getting 5.7 liter LS1. You're getting good power. Manual Ute. What more do you want? It's a Maloo. I mean, they're pretty crazy. I reckon it's like a bargain. If you can afford the fuel, that's a bargain.
Yeah.
On that note, even though it's not at that 20 grand point, getting like a VE Maloo, once they kind of cheapen up just a little bit more,
it'd be dope.
Yeah, and plus there's a good chance that at least the more limited editions will at least definitely appreciate in price.
100%.
Now that they're not building them anymore, the VEs were the last and. I'm not going to say the V's. I think the Series 2 when they started getting the nostrils and all that,
yeah,
it got a bit much for me.
Yeah.
But originally they looked pretty damn good.
I mean, like the kit on a Maloo is pretty tough,
Yeah.
and they do look stupid, and that's why I mean we've mentioned it that many times on the show, but Maloos are always a fan favorite. Like even my mates who are into full jab cars, they bloody love Maloos.
Yeah.
Like, just because they're just pointlessly dumb, and they look killer. They're fat guards and they look tough. So
and a lot of times they're low to the point where you can't even put anything in the tray. Like the moment you do,
no one uses the tray on a Maloo.
It's just there for sure.
Who uses a tray on a Maloo? You put like a leaf in there on its ass.
Scrape.
No, it's for carrying slabs.
It is for carrying
and some
slabs.
sausages.
Yeah.
Sausages, yes.
Yeah, that's it.
And for slabs, kegs, and barbecues. That's what Maloos are for. But yeah, definitely Maloo. Heading back to something a bit jappy, I was always a big fan of fourth gen Liberties, or in the States and all around the world, Legacies. So being a big fan of those, you can get like a GT, like a turbo. It looks like Super Gramps, and you can get a really nice one for like 14 grand.
Ah,
And they've got the 2.5, which I've heard is not the super most reliable engine getting round, but you're still getting close to 200 kilowatts. You're getting all-wheel drive. You can get them in. The wagons look hot. The wagons look tough. I'm
not a wagon man, but they do look nice. Yeah.
If you find a good wagon, wagons look good. I'm a big wagon guy. I mean, if you get like a E63 Estate or something, they're just cool. I mean, they're just stupidly awesome. But yeah, you can get a 4th gen Liberty, which are really great to drive. They look good. They've aged well. Interiors are really nice. They're screwed together really well. Actually, to be honest, with the cars of that vintage, going back about 10 years, they're probably one of the best made cars. Like that car specifically. I think they even mentioned it on Top Gear how well the doors shut and everything. They're a really, really good car.
The question is, are they primarily available in autos though?
A lot of them are autos. But you can get a manual, and the one I was looking at was a manual, and you can get it for I mean the manuals are rare compared to the autos, but if you find a manual, they're bloody awesome. So big fan of those. Here's a bit of an oddball. I don't know if you know much about these TRD Orions.
I believe we've spoken about them a few times.
We have. You can get them for like 17 grand. You can find a really nice one with like 130 odd thousand K, which is pretty damn good to be honest with you. And you're getting like it's a very exclusive car to be honest with you because the TRD Orion's like super rare. So you're getting I mean it's a lot of power going to the front wheels. It's 240 kilowatts going to the front wheels. I think at the time it was the most powerful front wheel drive car on sale. I think it still might be to be honest. It might have been eclipsed, but yeah, it was a decent car. So, and you can get them with the full leather, sat nav, and they're a kitted out car. They were like close to 70 grand when they were new. So that is an honourable mention on my group. But 70 grand, you can get something different, something that'll chop most things on the road. No, they're pretty damn quick. You can chop X6 turbos and all that for that money.
And still be a nice dad.
Still be a nice dad. It's hip to be square as the Toyota was. Toyota has come. Mazda 6 MPS, which is always a fan favorite.
Except they're all modified and making 270 kilowasps and doing all weird things.
Yeah, it's hard to find a clean one of those these days, which is a shame because they're a really awesome car. You're getting all-wheel drive. You're getting a real fun car to drive, and you can get them. You can get them like 10 grand, but the best one in the country is like 18. So, and that's the best one. That's like in Mac.
How much do the Mazda 3 MPSs go for?
They're to be honest, they're more money than the Mazda 6 MPS, and I don't know why. Even the Gen 1 BKs are more money than Mazda 6 MPSs. Like James's one.
Yeah.
They're more money than like the all-wheel drive Mazda 6, which is really weird considering.
But isn't the Mazda 6 generally regarded as
it's the better car? It is the better car, so it's really kind of odd.
Mm.
But I guess people don't really know much about them. Like they're one of those understated cars, so.
Yeah.
It's such a shame because they're a freaking awesome car. But yeah, like other than that, obviously you can get into an F6 for under 20 grand these days, which is I reckon is a really good buy. If you're like me and you want to drive it but don't, they're actually a really good driver's car. So
I was also going to suggest there was an FG XR6 Turbo as well.
Yes, you can. You can get FG XR6 Turbo. So, yeah.
Which I guess generally you'll be dealing with, I guess, a newer car, hopefully less Ks and less damage done all around. So, but obviously the F6 comes with exclusivity.
Does, yeah,
and then it comes with part issues.
Yeah, along with the exclusive cars I've mentioned, like the MPS and TRD Orion, parts are a lot harder to come by. So just be very wary.
So you can get it for under 20 grand, but then you're going to end up spending 20 grand on top of that.
You're very easily on parts. But then again, like you're getting with like your TRDs and your FPVs and HSVs, you're getting like the exclusivity. Like they've got a build number. Like they come with build sheets and certificates and everything. So, I mean, you're buying into that kind of classic car market-ish, modern classic. But then again, you can really, I guess, kind of get another car which will have a bit less worry, but you still get the same amount of fun. Like for example, you'll get with your MX-5s and stuff like that. A G6E Turbo you could get for that money as well, which is a bit more classy.
Yeah, and you do get the luxury kit.
You do, yeah. They're pretty well kitted out. So that's my oddball. But yeah, dude, you can get. I'm going to give you one more because I reckon this car has been very, very harshly dealt.
The RX-8.
Yes. Did you have that on your list?
I was thinking about it, but once again, as you said, it's been harshly dealt. So it disappoints compared to its predecessors.
It does.
And that's why it's hard to recommend the car.
I mean, have you ever driven an RX-8?
No.
They are good to drive.
Are they? Are they just noisy and not enough power?
No, I mean, actually, they're quick for what they are. But people complain, they got no torque, this and the other. They've got more torque down low, I reckon, than an S2000. They actually move, which is pretty good. Like S2000s are pretty quick. Like they're actually quick cars, but RX-8s actually they do move. And again, you can rev them to like 9 grand, which is pretty damn cool. But
how's reliability on those road trip situations?
Well, yes, okay, that's the big issue with the RX-8. They have had their issues, inverted commas, but a lot of people, because the RX-8s were a lot more attainable than like RX-7s. People that bought RX-8s thought it'd just be like a normal car. They didn't really buy into the whole rotary kind of thing. And ran them out of oil because rotaries do use oil. Didn't maintain them properly. Didn't rev them hard. Didn't drive them properly how they were supposed to be driven, and that's what caused a lot of the failures. Now, people that have actually had RX-8s that have been proper rotary fans, they've obviously known what to expect and how to maintain a rotary, and they've gotten good life out of their RX-8s. So, it's. I guess it's kind of roll of dice. It's, if you want to buy into the rotary experience, and they do drive very well. They actually handle.
You have to know what you're getting in for.
You got to know what you're getting into. So
you're going to ideally be buying off a seller who also got in for the right reasons.
For me to buy one, you'd either buy the cheapest one with a blown engine, which you can repair, or you'd buy the best one in the country. You wouldn't buy in between because in between you'd be like, is it going to die? Is it going to be?
If you buy it in between, more than likely your engine will be sitting at the Ringwood Mazda oil area. Every single time I go there, there's an old engine just sitting there at the top in the shelf.
Yep.
From a customer who didn't take care of their car.
Well,
at least you know they had it replaced.
Oh yeah, I mean, you get that bonus, but But anyway, we are out of time. We've gone for the full hour just talking about cars. It's been our usual show, to be honest. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and thanks for coming on the show.
It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Give a show a plug, James.
Man vs. Movies every Tuesday, 6 p.m, 98.9 Northwest FM, and the podcasted version is on iTunes, Man vs. Movies VS, not the whole word. And
you're on Shan Engine as well. Give our Facebook page a like, CarTorque, that's TORQUE with Matty J. We've got links to our Shan Engine page, so if you've missed any of our previous episodes, you can get all our podcasts from there. But if you're into iTunes and you're on iTunes, jump on iTunes. We're on iTunes as well. All our previous episodes are on there. And like, subscribe, and rate and review our iTunes page so we can get pushed up further in the rankings, so we can get more seen and push the show further, which would be great. But anyway, that has been it. Tune in next week, 7 p.m. for CarTorque with Matty J. And I will be back, and in the meantime, take it easy.
And it's front-wheel drive.
Scotty, have you got anyone you want to thank?
Just myself.
And now we do the after hours. Dun, dun, dun.
Gentlemen, what would you go for?
Dacia Sandero.
Okay, and because it's not a supercar.
But it is.
It's not.
Automotive perfection comes in the form of two letters, A and U.
Long live my LTD!